Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. And today we're getting into a mod video of the Lego Tudor Corner set, the modular set. But before we do, first we're going to give a little bit of background history in regards to the clockmaker. There he goes, sitting up there on the balcony area. How did he get there? We don't know. But we're going to get into a little background history of him before we jump into the mod of this video. So first, starting off, a long time ago, the clockmaker, he was very young when he started his career. He worked in a small little shop that probably was no bigger than 10 studs by 10 studs. A little room working, doing his whole clock thing. A couple years later, he ended up getting a job offer to do the town hall clock at the top of the building for town hall, for the mayor. The biggest job that he ever got. So once he was given that opportunity, they gave him a super large down payment, super large payment offer for that. Something upwards of, we'll say, over $100,000 for that. So because of that big break, and this is when he was younger, probably in about maybe his 20s or so, late 20s, almost like early 30s, he decided with that money, I can go and buy my own building, an investment where I can have not only my own shop, but a nice space that has other things as well. So what he did was he bought the building of the old Garden Inn. It was up and coming. It was in the downtown area. You know, a very old school vibe in a nice big city area. So he thought this is great, a lot of flow of traffic. So when he came to buy the place, what he realized was that you still had the old Garden Inn on the bottom floor because this was the remnants of a building from way, way long ago. So it already had a setup to it. It had the store on the bottom. There was no haberdashery yet. And it was just the old Garden Inn, and there was an apartment building at the top, and it was a duplex apartment building. So it was 2 floors, one unified like house apartment structure. An upstairs and a downstairs you freely will walk through. So when he came and bought the place, he said to himself, I need to kind of adjust the layout. So I'm gonna live upstairs and I'm gonna put my little clock workshop on the second floor, not the ground floor, the second floor, and keep the old Garden Inn down there as a restaurant so that way, or a pub so that way he can collect rent on it. So he's collecting rent from the people who work there. He started his clock workshop on the second floor, and on the third floor, he kind of downsized it to just be his apartment, which is why you have the setup where the steps that go up to that connect on the second floor and the third floor connect as one, because that was one unified apartment where he was living in both the way it was set up, but then he immediately, made that second floor his workshop. So that's why you don't have a separate entrance going upstairs. But then shortly after working about good maybe 3 years, everything's going well, he then was able to rent out the space for the haberdashery, moved in, because whatever business was there prior wasn't doing that well. He then rented out to the haberdashery, who then started making some really good money. And they then end up supplying, even the fabrics for the person at the jazz place, which they were happy to get into their business because they were able to then, start putting some of their business outward. So that it allowed him to raise the rents more, and he was making really good money and everything was going super well for him. Then afterwards, he got to a point where he says, I'm making so much money now that I am about to close up my shop, and I'm going to expand my shop to another location. And with that being the case, I am going to rent out this other floor now. I'm going to still own the building, but I'm going to rent out this floor and make it a new apartment. So with that being the case, he had to do a little bit of renovations, but nonetheless, he decided to turn his workshop into a living space studio apartment and rent that out so he can collect more money off of that, because he was ready to now bring his clock workshop to an even bigger space now that he has so much money in the bank from having this establishment for a good probably 10 years, because now he's looks like he's in his mid to late 40s, maybe even 50 years old, who knows. That is when we come into our mod. So first off, thanks to the set, the Lego Friends set 41755, which I used for this mod, we're going to take a look at what the second floor apartment now looks like. Okay, so first we're going to start with, and don't mind, we're going to have some crazy angles here if I can get into there, but it's hard to get into these modular sets, obviously, you guys know. So first, when you look in here, you see, oh, what is that? There's a door there. So the first thing that had to be done is work had to be done to separate this interior part. So when he did that, they fabricated a wall really quick, put a door in there, but just to leave his mark, he left his one of his best clocks there, because why not? And it doesn't get into the way of any of the opening doors, as you can see here, and it could fully be open. So this gives a space here where now this new studio apartment is separate from, is separate from the other one. Here you can look straight in. So coming in from the top angle, and I'll close that door there. Obviously, you could tell the person who's moving into this apartment is a young, more kind of trendy person who is into a lot of electronics and games and all that other good stuff. So there you see from this angle, they have their cell phone. They have their little mini refrigerator. Right down there, there's the little mini refrigerator. And this is the sink with an old school faucet type of turning mechanism. That actually came with the Lego Friends set. Now, first, I just want to make note that other than this door piece here with the bricks, the interior brick design, nothing else was from outside of the Lego Friends set. Obviously, everything else was from the mod for extras, maybe from the Tudor set as well. So here they put together a nice kind of accent brick wall to give sides to the doorway coming in, the entrance. Now the person moving in realized that they kind of like some aspects that were already there. So they kept the rug, they kept the little corner table there, but obviously instead of having a clock on it, they have this little skeleton head. Why? I don't know. That's what young people are into. And then coming around this way, you see that that is their gamer desk. They've got their computer, their obviously dual screens. They got their mic. They got a little squishy frog, probably for when they get angry at losing their games, they can squeeze it really hard. They have their game controller, and they have two little gaming trophies for when they won some kind of gaming event, because they are a gamer. Now they decided to keep the clock on top of the chimney, because why not? It looks good. They squeezed their bed over there, and there goes their laptop for when they're gaming, because they are a gamer. So sometimes you got a game on the run. Obviously the gaming chair. And that is pretty much their apartment. They got right now on the inside of here, some little bit of orange drinks. Let me see if I can angle that to where you can see it. It's little orange canned soda drinks. There you go, laying all over the floor now. And glass, they needed a bathroom. So let's see if we can kind of get in there, because I know the angle is very hard to kind of see in the inside there. So there you could see the little toilet. They can flush, taking that little closet space. So plumbing was put into place on that side, along with coming up this way too for the sink. So you have that there. So yeah, that is the modified apartment setup. You guys can let me know what you guys think of the mod. Now, this is obviously a what if scenario, because I might revert this back. So the clockmaker never went that route, but there's a potential route that he might take if he decides to rent out his apartment. But what do you guys think? In addition to that, I want to say that when it comes to setting up rooms, unfortunately, the Lego Friends room sets are starting to fade right now, because those ones I think are coming out of production. This one is still available on Amazon. I'm going to throw the link in the description. But a lot of their other Friends set rooms you might find a couple of them for $20. This one is going for $15, but a lot of them are sometimes saying like they're no longer in stock. So if you can grab them and you want to make modifications, I think they're great for setting up a room, because they are room sets. They're just not attached to any kind of structure. And so taking the contents that are in them go very well for this. And I have a lot of extra pieces as well. So I didn't even have to use most of the pieces on it, just the things I wanted to decorate the room. So just a little bit of food for thought, you guys, for a mod option if you wanted to turn this into its own little apartment area. And like I said, because of that, build up the wall makes it a separate structure, and now they don't even intertwine with each other. I did have fun doing the little backstory that I said in the beginning. Sorry about the time that it took, but I just had fun with it. As always, you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.